let's hope that the team continues to shine under the captaincy in all the tests to come.
We do hope that as well. Jaya, thank you so much for calling in. Our numbers are flashing at the bottom of your screens. You can call us, you can share your views, you can give your congratulations to Team India as they celebrate that win. And every Indian across the globe that is taking in that moment, as we see even an hour later, they still talk about how India has clinched this thriller at the Oval. We're going to be talking about this perhaps for the next 24 to 48 hours, because that's the kind of traction, really, if you say, that it needs. But Rajiv and Ayaz Memon continue to be with us. And Ayaz, I want to ask you about Bumrah. You know, he's coming in and out of the series. Do you think that somewhere did sort of help the England side? This series could have gone another way had we not had the troubles with Bumrah that he had with his injuries?
I mean, if Bumrah is not playing, there's obviously so much psychological relief for the opposition. So, whenever he's playing, the opposition is under pressure, under duress. And if he's not playing, they'll breathe a little easy. That's why I think this old test match victory is so remarkable, because there was no Bumrah and there was no Rishabh Pant. Two stellar players for India. And despite that, India have gone on to win this match, thanks largely to Siraj, who's had an outstanding match. Prasidha Krishna, just a step behind, if not in step with Siraj. And of course, don't forget, also, look, when you look at the, how the series has unraveled, you'll find that some player or the other has come up with a contribution that has made a big difference. So in the last match, you had Yashasvi Jaiswal, who started with a century in the first test match, hadn't done much for three test matches, comes back or finishes the series with a century. And that gives India the buffer or the score to defend. Otherwise, you could have lost this match far easier. So I think that, Bumrah, it's a bit of a complicated issue, complex issue for India to, how to manage Bumrah's workload issue and with the serious commitments that are there.
And it's a long-term issue that we really have to think about and figure out what the solution for that would be. Sorry to interrupt you there. I'll come back to you. But Ben Stokes is, I believe, addressing the media. We'll just cut across.
Yeah, recording about excellent. We've got England captain Ben Stokes going to go to James Coldplay. Ben, a dramatic finish to an incredible series. How do you sum it all up and your emotions at the end there?
I think the series as a whole, even before this game, it was just all 4 games going to 5 days. This one again, and it's been toe to toe pretty much for 25 days. Two very good teams who have thrown everything at each other, left nothing out there. So I guess from a cricket fan's point of view, you sort of go 2-2 is probably fair. Obviously, we're disappointed now to have not got the result that we wanted to give us a series win. So there's obviously that disappointment, a little bit of frustration there as well from everyone. But yeah, I think as a massive advocate of this format and Test cricket as a whole, this has certainly been one of those series that can hopefully keep that narrative around Test cricket is dying. And disappointed from obviously a playing point of view, but as a advocate of the game, the series has been fantastic to be part of.
With Root and Brook batting yesterday, did you think you were going to get over the line? And what did you make of the nature of Brook's dismissal?
Obviously 380 is obviously a very large total to try and chase down. But as the game got deeper and deeper, the way that the wicket was playing completely changed from days 1 and days 2. So we knew that if any of our lads were to get in, then that was going to give us a good chance. Harry got us into that position by playing in a particular way, putting the Indian bowlers under immense pressure to take them away from being able to consistently bowl the areas that they wanted to bowl. I'm sure everyone was applauding him when he brought up his 100 in the way that he did. Some of the shots he played were unbelievable. The dismissal and the way that he got out was a shot that we've seen a lot of him do in that innings, which I'm sure was getting a lot of praise.
Do you feel a stronger team off the back of this series as you look ahead to the Ashes? Have there been key lessons learned across this series from your point of view?
No, I think we were in a nice, strong place coming into the series. I think from a team point of view, and certainly as an individual point of view, some guys will leave the series, found out a lot more about themselves. In particular this game, with Chris Wokes going down early on with that unfortunate shoulder injury, then the responsibility and that fell on Gus, Tungi and Jamie's shoulders. Not only that, but obviously the roles completely changed by then as to why they were selected and the impact that we thought they would have on the game. They had to dig deep, in particular in our second innings of bowling. So look, I think there's a couple of guys who've left the series when they've been given the opportunities that they found out a lot more about themselves in a very, very positive way.
And on Chris Wokes, you mentioned his bravery.
Rajiv continues to be with us. He's been reporting for us from England throughout the series. He's at the Oval where celebrations are still continuing, is what we're learning. Rajiv, क्या अभी भी माहौल वैसा ही है जैसे एक घंटे पहले तक था? क्या अभी भी दर्शक इंडियंस जो काफ़ी दूर से आए हैं इंग्लैंड से, इंग्लैंड के बाहर से भी काफ़ी लोग आए थे मैच देखने के लिए, क्या वो अभी वही हैं? We'll try and reconnect that line with my colleague Rajiv there. He's been reporting, like I said, getting us the mood and feel from on ground. But this is a series that India has now levelled. Many would say that Mohammed Siraj has gone from being a possible villain to the hero of this Oval Test. It was a nail-biting finish, one that would keep you at the edge of your seats. The turning point really came in the second half yesterday when many saw that India would still have a fighting chance. And then this morning, a cloudy, gloomy day at the Oval, but not for India, because that's how that match was turned around, and of course, the series was levelled by India. We'll keep a track of that and much more here on Nation at 5. But for now, it's time for a quick break.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
The proceedings in the criminal defamation case against leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi over the remarks made by him about the Indian Army in the context of the 2020 Galwan rally clash with China. Now, even though interim relief was granted during the hearing, the bench made oral remarks expressing disapproval of Rahul's remarks.
I think they've proven a few things. As far as this series is concerned, Atul Vasan, the fact that we need not rely on one or two superstar names, that, the rest of the team also not only has the bench strength to come in, but also, the heart and the capability to perform.
Yeah, well, this is a nice rhetoric. I understand the point. It's a macro view. But, you need a couple of big guns also. And the big guns are produced or created only when the old guns retire. And, we always thought he's not there. Just Pete Bumrah's on and off presence. But he did his job, and then the newcomers. So when you throw somebody in the deep end and they come and swim ashore, and that is when the guy is ready. So, a boy is only ready when you actually, when he knows that there is nobody coming to save him. And I think this is the point, and you're right. So I will just talk generically. I will not name a couple of players, but this is a team effort. And Shubman Gill is the captain for the next 10 years.
Yes, Shubman Gill is the captain for the next 10 years. Atul, thanks a lot for joining us. I also want to go back across to Rajiv, who's actually there outside the Oval. The series has taken a lot of twists and turns, and India was in it right throughout, from the very first day of this test series to the very last. What an enthralling series, first of all, it has been. We knew that even England is not really the England of the olden days or even what we witnessed in the last decade. But this Indian team was also young, it was inexperienced. सो मच प्रेशर, शुभमन गिल के शोल्डर्स पे कितना प्रेशर था, और उनके पास जो टीम थी वो भी ऐसा लग रहा था कि बहुत यंग है और काफी लोग बीच बीच में अवेलेबल भी नहीं थे, तो बहुत हेडेक थे टीम से।
बिल्कुल, अगर आप लेकिन इस पूरी सीरीज का अगर आप एनालिसिस करें तो ज्यादातर सेशंस जो होते हैं टेस्ट मैच में वो भारतीय टीम ने जीते, भारतीय टीम ने डोमिनेट किए, और एक यंग टीम से जो पहली बार मुझे लग रहा है उसमें कई खिलाड़ी ऐसे थे जो इंग्लैंड पहली बार आ रहे थे, और इंग्लैंड की कंडीशंस हमेशा बहुत टफ होती हैं किसी भी यंग क्रिकेटर के लिए, वो चाहे बॉलर हो चाहे बैट्समैन हो। अगर आपको यहाँ के आपकी कंडीशन, यहाँ के पिचेस जो है उससे एडजस्ट करना और उसके बाद यहाँ पे अपना 100% देना, ये तमाम चैलेंजेस थे इस युवा टीम के सामने। और लीड्स का मैच अगर आप याद करें ऑलमोस्ट सिचुएशन ओवल जैसी ही थी, जहां पर हमने 372 रन दिए इंग्लैंड को, लेकिन वहां पे क्योंकि इनएक्सपीरियंस था, थोड़ी हमारी गलतियां हुई फील्डिंग में और वो हम टेस्ट मैच हार गए। उसके बाद हमने एजवेस्टन ने शानदार कमबैक किया। लॉर्ड्स टेस्ट मैच कौन भूल सकता है, इतना क्लोज इनकाउंटर जहां पे सिराज वो अनलकी तरीके से बोल्ड हुए और वहां पे इंग्लैंड ने लीड ली। और उसके बाद मैनचेस्टर, अगर आप याद करें तो वो टेस्ट मैच भी भारत के लिए याद किया जाएगा, जिस तरह से टेस्ट मैच ड्रॉ किया तो वॉशिंगटन सुंदर और रविंद्र जडेजा ने, और अब इस टेस्ट मैच को हिस्टोरिक
reasons, hasn't had full strength throughout the tournament, but I think they've proven a few things as far as this series is concerned. Atul Vasan, the fact that we need not rely on one or two superstar names, that the rest of the team also not only has the bench strength to come in, but also the heart and the capability to perform.
Yeah, well, this is a nice rhetoric. I understand the point. It's a macro view. But, you need a couple of big guns also. And the big guns are produced or created only when the old guns retire. And, we always thought he's not there. Just Pete Bumrah's on and off presence. But he did his job, and then the newcomers. So when you throw somebody in the deep end and they come and swim ashore, and that is when the guy is ready. So, a boy is only ready when you actually, when he knows that there is nobody coming to save him. And I think this is the point, and you're right. So I will just talk generically. I will not name a couple of players, but this is a team effort, and Shubman Gill is the captain for the next 10 years.
Yes, Shubman Gill is the captain for the next 10 years. Atul, thanks a lot for joining us. I also want to go back across to Rajiv, who's actually there outside the Oval. The series has taken a lot of twists and turns, and India was in it right throughout, from the very first day of this test series to the very last. What an enthralling series, first of all, it has been. We knew that even England is not really the England of the olden days or even what we witnessed in the last decade. But this Indian team was also young, it was inexperienced, so much pressure. शुभमन गिल के शोल्डर्स पे कितना प्रेशर था, और उनके पास जो टीम थी वो भी ऐसा लग रहा था कि बहुत यंग है और काफी लोग बीच बीच में अवेलेबल भी नहीं थे, तो बहुत हेडेक थे टीम से।
बिल्कुल, अगर आप लेकिन इस पूरी सीरीज का अगर आप एनालिसिस करें तो ज्यादातर सेशंस जो होते हैं टेस्ट मैच में वो भारतीय टीम ने जीते, भारतीय टीम ने डोमिनेट किए, और एक यंग टीम से जो पहली बार मुझे लग रहा है उसमें कई खिलाड़ी ऐसे थे जो इंग्लैंड पहली बार आ रहे थे, और इंग्लैंड की कंडीशंस हमेशा बहुत टफ होती हैं किसी भी यंग क्रिकेटर के लिए, वो चाहे बॉलर हो चाहे बैट्समैन हो। अगर आपको यहाँ के आपकी कंडीशन, यहाँ के पिचेस जो है उससे एडजस्ट करना और उसके बाद यहाँ पे अपना 100% देना, ये तमाम चैलेंजेस थे इस युवा टीम के सामने। और लीड्स का मैच अगर आप याद करें ऑलमोस्ट सिचुएशन ओवल जैसी ही थी, जहां पर हमने 372 रन दिए इंग्लैंड को, लेकिन वहां पे क्योंकि इनएक्सपीरियंस था, थोड़ी हमारी गलतियां हुई फील्डिंग में और वो हम टेस्ट मैच हार गए। उसके बाद हमने एजवेस्टन ने शानदार कमबैक किया। लॉर्ड्स टेस्ट मैच कौन भूल सकता है, इतना क्लोज इनकाउंटर जहां पे सिराज वो अनलकी तरीके से बोल्ड हुए और वहां पे इंग्लैंड ने लीड ली। और उसके बाद मैनचेस्टर, अगर आप याद करें तो वो टेस्ट मैच भी भारत के लिए याद किया जाएगा, जिस तरह से टेस्ट मैच ड्रॉ किया तो वॉशिंगटन सुंदर और रविंद्र जडेजा ने। और अब इस टेस्ट मैच को हिस्टोरिकली इसलिए याद किया जाएगा, मोहम्मद सिराज ने जिस तरह के स्पेल डाले हैं, एक फास्ट बॉलर के लिए 8-8-9 ओवर के स्पेल डालना बहुत आसान नहीं होता। तो सिराज को तो एक तो सैल्यूट करना चाहिए, और मेरे लिए तो मैन ऑफ द सीरीज मोहम्मद सिराज है। भले ही 700 से ज्यादा रन बनाए हैं शुभमन गिल ने सीरीज में, बट एक्चुअली बॉलर मैच जिताते हैं, और मोहम्मद सिराज ने एग्जैक्टली वही किया और उनको बहुत अच्छा सपोर्ट दिया। आकाशदीप ने जिस तरह का सपोर्ट दिया था उनको एजवेस्टन में, फिर यहाँ जिस तरह का सपोर्ट प्रसिद्ध कृष्णा ने दिया सिराज को, तो जो बैकअप बॉलिंग थी सिराज के साथ वो भी बहुत ही शानदार उनका प्रदर्शन रहा। और इसी वजह से ये अगर आप ओवर टेस्ट मैच की जीत की बात करें तो बहुत कंबाइंड एफर्ट है, जहाँ पे सब ने अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन दिया, और नतीजा ये था कि हम एक इतना क्लोज मैच, मेरे ख्याल तो हिस्ट्री के वन ऑफ द क्लोजेस्ट मैचेस में से एक होगा, जहाँ पे सिर्फ 6 रन से इंग्लैंड हार गया मैच और भारत ने यह मुकाबला जीता। और यहाँ पे क्रिस स्टोक्स की भी थोड़ी तारीफ करनी चाहिए। हाथ में देखिए उनकी शोल्डर उनका डिसलोकेट हो गया था, उसके बाद भी वो बैटिंग कर रहे हैं अपनी कंट्री के लिए। तो वो तमाम ऐसे लम्हे हैं जो मुझे लग रहा है हम सबको याद रहेंगे और इस टेस्ट मैच को आसानी से भूला नहीं जा सकेगा।
Bilkul, absolutely. The very fact that had 4 results out of the 5 test matches, even that one draw was a hard-fought draw, and other than that, we've just had so much to talk about, so much drama in this series, so many lovely performances. All of those test matches, India has been in the mix. Some didn't go their way, but to come back in the final test match, really with the sword hanging over you, stupendous performance by the Indian side and the young of the Indian side. I asked Memen, senior journalist, who's also joining us, we were talking about exactly this. A lot can happen, even if you need 30 odd runs, but with just 4 wickets in bag.
Oh, absolutely. I thought, the key was getting an early wicket, in the first 3-4 overs, and that happened. In fact, we got a couple of wickets. So after that, the pressure, you mentioned earlier also how difficult it is to get those last 30-40 runs, especially when the pressure builds up to a crescendo, so to speak. And I thought, again, Mohammed Siraj was absolutely marvelous the way he's bowled right through this match, in fact, through the series. And Rajiv also mentioned, so while there is, Shubman Gill 750 plus runs, when you look at the impact Siraj has had on the series in terms of the matches won, the match saved, etc., he would be the man of the series because bowlers ultimately end up winning you the matches. But having said that, I think it's been a tremendous team effort by many of them on their first series in England, without Rohit, Virat, Ashwin, all of these players not there, and not many thought that India would even survive after losing the first test, that it would survive. And here you are with a 2-2 draw, which will go down in the annals of cricket history as one of the great contests that we've seen.
Yeah, I think the only one who was the remnant of the previous era, if I can use that term, was Ravindra Jadeja, isn't it? There is no Pujara, there is no Rohit, there is no Virat, there is no Ashwin. The last time, we played, it was only really Ravindra Jadeja. Of course, Ravindra Jadeja has played even as far back as 2014 in England. And that was also a pretty exciting series to watch as far as the India-England battle is concerned. But, this is what young blood has really proven itself for Ayaz, because I would say that when they started out, yes, we had our own issues in the fact that we knew that maybe Bumrah will play only 3 of the 5 test matches, so we had to be very careful with him. It turned out to be exactly that. We knew we didn't have a lot of batsmen who had played in England before. But even England wasn't at their fittest or fullest, right? What has to be said, though, is that from both sides, even if you look at that, that win that England managed, where Jadeja and Siraj, in fact, 2 super players in this series were on the pitch trying to get India that win. All of those moments, the banter between the 2 players on the pitch and, for others as well, there was just so much drama happening as far as this series is concerned. That just goes on to show the heart and the character that each player brought in.
I think so. I think that, they just took it on themselves to put up a really great show, be extremely competitive. I mean, there's not been one session which hasn't been enthralling.
Yes.
Right